Okay. Okay, here we go. Quick review. Give me the 5. Don't even think about looking back. There's no reason to. Here we go. 18. Property. Opposite sides congruent. Next up. 12. Good. Keep it trucking. 3. One job. 20. 2 more. 14. And the final one. 22. Thank you. Thank your partner for that one. All right. Why am I making? If we're going on to 2 new figures, why am I making a big deal of going over those 5 again? Here's why. Anybody remember the names of the 2 figures below the parallelogram? The two below only, not the one deep here. Rectangle. Rectangle, and the one next to it was the rhombus. Good. I'm telling you these 5 properties again because a rectangle and a rhombus are parallelograms. So before you learn any properties, they already have the 5 here. Everybody good there? Rectangle and rhombus are types of parallelograms, so therefore they have all 5 of these. Okay, apply. Good? Do not forget that. I'm going to harp on that big time today, that even though you're dealing with 2 new figures, they still have the parallelogram properties. All good. They have a little something extra too. A little something extra. Here you go. Let's start with the old rectangle. You guys read through properties 1A through E. What are they? They're the parallelogram properties. Those are our top 5. Don't forget about them. What extras does a rectangle have? All angles are right angles. Anybody remember that classy little term I showed you guys with triangles? If all the angles were equal? Equiangular. Yes, a rectangle is equiangular. All angles are right angles. Good. Diagonals in a rectangle. The third property. Diagonals are congruent. So these 2 diagonals I'm trying to draw in are congruent. Okay, honors kids, let's build off that. Yes, they're congruent, but since it's a parallelogram, what are they doing to each other? Bisecting. Let's put the 2 together. They're the same length and they're cutting each other in half. What can you tell me about all 4 pieces up there? They are all congruent in a rectangle, correct? Rectangle only. Everyone good so far? Because now you're going to write a 4th property for me. Now that we know this, the diagonals form 4 blank. They form 4. What type of triangles are the isosceles triangles? Diagonals form 4 isosceles triangles. Who cares? What's the big deal with that? Well, here's the big deal, and here's where you're going to use it. Take one triangle. What's across from these congruent sides? I'm not going to mark all of them, but hey, those are congruent now. Okay? So the diagonals form 4 isosceles triangles. Do not forget the parallelogram properties still apply. Questions on the rectangle. Rhombus is a little bit more complicated. All good. All right. Rhombus. Notice the first 1A through E. What are they? What are they? What's listed there? A through E. Those are just the parallelogram properties. Now, hopefully I don't regret this. Good. The extras the rectangle has. So these extras here that the rectangle has, the rhombus does not. Keep them separated. All right, they have no overlapping extra properties. All right, the only thing they have in common are your parallelogram properties. Everybody good? These extras we just listed do not apply to the rhombus. The rhombus has its own special properties, which number one is all four sides are equal. What's a nice little geometry term for that one? Oh boy. Equilateral. Yes, equilateral. Just doesn't apply to a triangle. So a rhombus, all four sides are congruent. Oh, how about these diagonals in a rhombus? Doing work. They are not congruent. That's a rectangle. But they bisect the angles. What's that mean for us? Ready? Take a look at my diagram. Okay, that's what I mean. They cut each angle in half. All right. And the second thing about a diagonal, they are perpendicular. So what do two perpendicular lines form up here? Yeah, you got right angles, which makes four right triangles. Yep. All right, this means nothing until we apply it. Questions? All right, here we go. Let's start applying them. First thing, all four diagrams are parallelograms. And then I added a little extra to the diagram that makes it into a special type of parallelogram. That's the first job. All right, take a look at one. It's a parallelogram right now, but as everybody see, I added that right angle symbol in there. So it was a parallelogram. I added the right angle into it. Now it transforms into a 21 rectangle. A parallelogram with a right angle is a rectangle. All right, so now we're thinking about all the rectangle properties. I don't care if you start with 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't care if you use a property or 180 degrees in a triangle, linear pairs or supplementary. I don't care. Whatever gets the job done right now. So first person I'm going to ask, what angle do you want to try to find first? Okay, and then back yourself up on how you know what angle measure it is. Miss Lynch, you can't yell out at me. Come on. 19, where are you going to start? All right, what's angle 1? If you're going to start there, you better know how to get there. I don't care if you start there or not, but all right, let's do 3. What's angle 3? It is? It is 18. Why is it 18? It's still a parallelogram. Don't forget about the properties. Opposite sides are parallel. 18 and angle 3 are alternate interior. Done. Let's keep trucking. That's 18. Get me another angle somehow. Again, find an unmarked angle if it gets you there. Oh boy, 11. Where you want to go? Okay, how'd we get, that is correct. Angle 1 is 72. How'd we get there? Okay, everyone see 18, angle adjacent to it had to have been 72. We said diagonals form 4 isosceles triangles. What's across from the congruent sides? Congruent angles. Okay? Yes, powerful if you know these properties. All right, 1 and 3 are done. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yep, 22, going deep. Yeah. You said angle 2, and I'm just waiting for... We sure? Is that our final answer? Okay, good. Do you mind if I ask you a follow-up question, Dylan? Because that was kind of awkward right there. You watch the news at all? Have you seen the newest invention that just came out on the market? It's called a comb. You ever invest in it? Just throwing that out. Too harsh, kids, before the holidays? Too harsh? Just throwing that out there. I know it's brand new and it's probably pretty expensive and hard to get, but yeah, they're out there now. All right, they're out there. Too harsh? Too harsh? Sorry. You good? We good? All right, good man. Here we go. We're good. All right, and now I need angle 4. 9. What do we have? 144. How do we get it? 180 minus 2 and 4 are supplementary. They're linear pairs. Minus it from 180, I get a $1.44. Everybody good? Okay. Number 2 now. I'll do this one with you, then you're on your own. It is a parallelogram. I got that going for me. It's at least a parallelogram, and then everyone see my hash marks. That tells me now it's a 9 again. That is a rhombus. Parallelogram with all sides equal is at least a rhombus. All right, you're up here, kids. This one should go pretty quick if you know those properties. All right, because the properties just really lead you to 1, 4, and 2 and 3. I'll take either one, anyone separately now. 12. 2, done. Diagonals are perpendicular. Angle 2 is 90. No calculations needed. Angle 2 is 90, forms a right angle. All right, knowing that, 6, where you want to go from here? Angle 4 is diagonals bisect the angles. Done. We're not doing any calculations here, just knowing properties. So hopefully I'm proving the point, how powerful it is. 16, another angle. Angle 1 is 59. How? Yep. And they're alternate interior as well. And the only one I'm looking for now is angle 3. Yeah. 2, 90. Done. Diagonals perpendicular. All right. Nice. Any issues? Okay. I'll start you with number 3 here, and then I'm going to let you go on with 3 and 4 for about 2 minutes to finish it. There are no markings on my diagram, and you're not pulling it looks like a rectangle. We're not pulling that. You got to prove to me that it is. It's already a what? Okay, start there. It's a parallelogram already. So let me start with angle 1. If it's a parallelogram, angle 1's got to be what? 60. It's alternate interior with the other 60. Let's keep talking. And the angle adjacent to it's 30. That makes what type of angle here? Okay, so it's got to be a rectangle. Not because it looks like it, because we just proved there's a right angle there. So you guys can go ahead and finish up 3 and 4. I'll give you about 2 minutes. Sides. Okay, here we go. Rectangle. Hij. Quick reminder, how do we label any quadrilateral? Clockwise or counterclockwise? Because if you start going diagonally, you're going to throw off the whole problem. What's HJ in this problem? Diagonal. You label it incorrectly, it becomes a side, and that's the problem. And IK is also a diagonal. We're talking about a rectangle. What do I know about those two diagonals if I'm talking about a rectangle? 15. Congruent. 3x plus 5 equals 5x minus 9. Diagonals in a rectangle are congruent. Nine. What do you, when you get the value of x, let me know. 7. And then when you guys are done, it also asks for the length of each diagonal, which I hope after you plug it in, they are the same because that's what the property says, right? $19, what do you have? Any issues? Not to, I know you guys went ahead, and I don't know if anybody got stumped on 6. Now it's a rhombus. What's GI in that diagram? What's GI? That's a diagonal. What's FH? Diagonal. Okay. So we're talking about the diagonals of a rhombus. Tell me all you know about the diagonals of a rhombus right now. There's really 3 properties you should know about diagonals of a rhombus. One thing you know. Here we go. 14. One thing I know about diagonals of a rhombus. Oh, bisect the angles. Good. All right. So they bisect the angles. Good there. All right. I'm not dismissing it. That is a property. Another property of a rhombus. 11. Bisect each other. So this diagonal of 8 becomes 4 and 4. I can at least start marking my diagram now. What about that diagonal of FH of 6 becomes 3 and 3. All right. It says find the length of a side. Does it matter which side I find? Why not? Property, they're all congruent. Yep, so it doesn't matter what side. That's still not helping me, though. I need the last property of the diagonal of a rhombus. They are 24. They are perpendicular. They form a right angle. They form right triangles then. Notice my right triangle here. How many sides do I know? 2. I'm trying to find the third. That automatically means to me in geometry, Pythagorean Theorem. Be prepared to use this a lot in a rhombus since the diagonals are perpendicular. 3 and 4, are they 2 legs? Are they a hypotenuse and a leg? What do I have there? 2 legs, yep. So 3 squared, 4 squared equals c squared. Some of you may know this triple off the top of your head. That's great. If not, we keep grinding. What do I have there? 25. So the length of one side would be 5 units. If I had a part B to this question, what's the perimeter? What do we do there? If one side's 5, they're all 5, and we add them up. Questions there? All right, go ahead, get started. Homework's in the packet, next couple pages. Get ready for the B. We will be